The first thing I noticed was silence, not the peaceful kind, the heavy kind that presses against your ears. My eyes slowly opened, but the light above me was strange, soft, and pale like moonlight. For a few seconds my mind was empty, then the memories rushed. Back ran the highway headlights, cutting through the storm. Trucks sliding sideways across the road, metal twisting, glass exploding. Then darkness. My chest rose slowly as I breathed inner pain. Just weakness. My fingers moved slightly against the smooth surface. Beneath me, which was not asphalt, not a hospital bed, either. It felt different. My head turned slowly to the side. That was when I saw her. She sat beside the bed, perfectly still. Her skin was lavender, not purple like paint, but soft and natural like a flower. Touched by morning light, long silver hair flowed down her shoulders, shimmered every time she moved, even a little. Her eyes were closed, as if she had been resting, yet the moment my breathing changed, she opened them, bright violet glow. Watching for a moment, we simply stared at each other. Her expression changed. Slowly relief appeared on her face. "You are awake," she said, quietly. Her voice was calm and careful, like someone speaking a language that was new to them. My brain struggled to process what I was seeing. "Where am I?" I asked. My voice sounded weak, dry. She leaned forward and gently lifted a small container. Thin tube reached my lips. "Drink slowly," she said. Cool water filled my mouth. Felt amazing. After a few seconds, my voice returned. "This is not a hospital, no," she said softly. Then, where she paused for a moment, as if measuring how much truth I could accept, "You are aboard a research vessel." My mind froze. Research vessel? What kind of research vessel? "Your vehicle crashed," she continued. "The impact was detected by our sensors. We retrieved you before your body failed." My eyes moved around the room. The walls were smooth and curved, soft. Lines of glowing light ran across them. There were no machines like those in human hospitals. Everything looked advanced, strange, beautiful. I looked back at her. "You are not human." She shook her head once. "No." The word should have terrified me, but strangely, it did not. Maybe my brain was still waking up, or maybe something about her presence felt safe. "How long have I been here?" I asked. 14 hours, she said. I frowned. "Then you have been sitting there the entire time?" "Yes, you never left." "No, why?" Her eyes studied my face. "When we brought you aboard, your condition was unstable. Your brain activity suggested severe trauma. Our medical system stabilized your body, but consciousness was uncertain. So I remained here watching, waiting for you to where." Kai stared at her. "You stayed beside a stranger for 14 hours. "Yes, but you do not know me." Her silver hair shifted slightly as she tilted her head. "That is not entirely true. My species has observed your world for many cycles. We study developing civilizations. Your planet is fascinating." "Why? Because humans refuse to give up," she said. "Your history is filled with disasters, wars, loss, yet you rebuild again and again, even when logic suggests you should stop." I gave a weak smile. "That sounds about right." Her violet eyes softened. "When we retrieved you, your survival probability was low, 41%, so you stayed to see if I would beat the odds." You laughed quietly. "So I am an experiment?" "Not exactly," she said. "More like a question." The room fell silent. Memory pushed into my mind. "Truck that crash, was anyone else saved?" I asked slowly. Her expression changed. The softness in her eyes dimmed enough. Single word carried weight. I closed my eyes for a moment. The rain, the headlights, the sound of metal, all of it returned. When I opened my eyes again, she was still watching me carefully. "Your emotional state has shifted," she said gently. "Yeah," I said. "Humans do that when people die." She nodded slowly. "We have studied grief, but observing it is different than sitting beside." E.T. looked at her. "You stayed Here for 14 hours just because you were curious about Hopius. You know that sounds very human. Her eyes widened slightly. Does Verishi seem to think about that? Perhaps that is why I felt compelled to stay. I shifted slightly in the bed. My body felt stronger already. What happens now? I asked. You will recover, she said. Our medical systems repaired the damage to your brain and internal organs once you are stable. We will return you to your planet, just like that. Yes, I studied her carefully. Why not erase my memory? Movies always say aliens do that. She shook her head. Slowly your memories shape your species' curiosity, courage, growth. Ruining them would damage what makes humans unique. So you trust me, SYB, 'cause you survived, she said. Humans who survive impossible moments often change the world afterward. I thought about that. Maybe she was right, or maybe she simply believed in something that made no sense. Either way, it felt good to hear. What is your name? I asked. She spoke a soft flowing word. It sounded like music in another language. Guy blinked. I cannot say that. She smiled slightly. You may call me Liriliriest. Thank you for staying. Liriliri are welcome. She stood slowly. For the first time her movements were graceful, almost weightless. You should rest again, she said. Your mind is still recovering. Probably a good idea, I said. She walked toward the doorway but stopped before leaving. When you first woke, she said, your first question was where you were, not what we were, not why we took you. I shrugged. When you wake up somewhere strange, it helps to understand the room first. Fear can wait. She nodded. Slowly humans prioritize understanding before panic. Another interesting trait. Glad I could help your research. You already have, she said. She stepped into the doorway but paused once more. Before you woke, she said, your brain activity increased several times. Lost like dreaming. What was I dreaming about? Someone calling your name? You kept trying to answer. I smiled faintly. That sounds like my sister. Lyra nodded. The emotional signal suggested strong family attachment. Maybe that helped me wake up. Perhaps, she said, or perhaps hope. Did the door closed quietly behind her? The room returned to silence, but this time the silence felt different, lighter. Somewhere out there beyond the stars, a species that had studied humanity for years had waited 14 hours beside a single broken human jest to see if we would wake up, and somehow we did again.